Nowhere to log. We don't have anyone here. I'm gonna wait a few minutes before I start, but I will start even if there's nobody here, of course, because I want to get this recorded, get the app built, and be on my way. I guess I should probably have some music or something at some point. Just gonna try and listen to myself. Just gonna try and listen to myself and see if there's something here. And I don't hear myself. YouTube. Okay, that's interesting because the YouTube stream is more delayed um, than the other stream. I'm gonna give it maybe a minute or two more, and then I'll get started. a good time out. Okay, so I've switched back to the normal mic and I'll test the sound out, and if that works, I will get started. I'm now testing the sound without the noise gate. And let's see if that's much more smoother. Okay, it is. It's a lot better. I can hear myself, so I'm gonna leave my own stream and well, as a viewer, and then get started um, as a streamer. All right. So the last time we did the stream, I demoed the plugin that I wanted to recreate. Okay, that's not working. It's weird. Chrome is not being streamed. Okay, I'm gonna stop the stream and I'm gonna, well, actually I can just go and check. Nope, I'm gonna have to stop the stream and try again. All right, so the last time in the last stream, we got started by building out this to-do list application, and we want it to be a Chrome extension. And the goal here is it's this. Every time I open a new tab, it defaults to this application. I can add items here. And I wanted to rebuild it because it's old and it doesn't quite have the functionality in the way that I would like. So where we ended up last time was we got a working application where I'm able to add a new item, but and still refresh it, and it works. It's not hooked into Chrome yet, which we'll get to sometime later. But the way I was storing the items is in local storage, and I did it through a hack, and I'm not too happy about that. So I'm going to revisit that part of the code, clean up the hack, make it work, and then move on from there. All right, so let's get into the code. And in the app here, I did something super dirty, which was in the add item function. In order to get the reactivity model working, I stringified the data, parsed it, and then stored it again. Because earlier I had done something like this, data equals data.value, and because it is a reference, it wasn't overriding it. And I had a bunch of assumptions of Vue's reactivity model and why perhaps that wasn't working. But I was wrong about it, and I did figure it out right after the stream. So I'm going to go ahead and configure that now. So one of the things I did was this, of course, and you really never want to do something like this. Ideally, you don't have to, especially with the features JavaScript does have, because this value is an object in and of itself. I can probably do something like this. I can destructure it and assign it to itself, which is better than converting it to a string and then converting it back. So now when I go back here, let me just refresh. And if I say hello there, and if I add this, I see it. If I refresh, I expect hello there to still be there, and it is. And now I know that's working. And this is because I'm doing this pass by, like I'm recreating that object itself. However, if I change the order of things and I refresh this hello there that's up here now, if I refresh, it'll pop there back at the bottom, because we're only changing the value in data.value to trigger this watch up here, to trigger this watch. When we're adding the item, it doesn't get retriggered through our draggable plugin here. And the goal is to do that. This V model should actually retrigger our watch and get that data stored. And what I was missing in the reactivity model was the fact that I need to say deep true. And when I do that, I don't need to do this. Now this whole proxy object is being watched by the watch. You don't want to do this in a production app with thousands of items, but for our small app here, this works just fine. No big deal. So if I go back here, and now I'm move hello there up here and refresh, there you go. It stays, and now anything that changes that data object is being stored by that watch function. Great. So we got that functionality working. So I'm just gonna go ahead and commit that. Wasn't expecting changes in yarn.lock, so I'll undo that. And all I've done is added the deep and gotten rid of the hack. And that's the first thing off my list. Removing stringify. Okay, now let's take a look. I added a bunch of other items that I want to do, and I'll go ahead one by one and tackle them off. All right. So let's see. Now that the ordering is working, let's see what I want to do here and the order I want it done. I probably want mark items done first because I've done this and I can't mark it done. I think I want delete before I want edit. And really, once I've done these things here, I'm ready to get it into Chrome. But I do want to add the other columns. So I'm just going to say add 3 columns and move that up here, I think, once I have the editing and the adding functionality done. Okay, so now I want to have a done indication here. And the way I'm thinking about doing it is very much like prior tab, perhaps, is I have some kind of an icon here, and when I click it, and when I click it, it marks it as done, crosses it out, uncheck it, keeps it there. So that's the functionality I want to mimic. And let's see. So a few things I would have to do for that here. And even before I get in there, I want to also try and include icons. Something I haven't done before is use a library called Unplugin icons. So let's take a look there. Unplugin icons. And this allows us through Iconify to import like hundreds and thousands, or 10,000 icons into our app. So let me go ahead and do that. Let's see. And then I'm able to get material or carbon icons or whatever the case may be. And these icons are coming in from Iconify. And let's see where the collection is, just so I can see all the icons at once as well. And I have actually never used this library before, although I did see it earlier. And so let's see if I can get it working. Okay, well, I'm just going to install it and then try and use some material design icons. Okay. And let me just use the icons they have here to see if that works right out of the box. Oh, I might have to do some configuration here, which is, okay, I do need to configure it with Vite. That, and then plugins, I need to indicate that I want to use icons. Yeah. All right. get in here and try and use the default icon I have here. Let me plug it in. Let's see. I can actually remove this watch effect here. And then try and use this icon account box somewhere. I'll actually just put it right here with the description. And maybe I can just put the description in a div itself. And get that icon account box up here. And I should be able to give it styles or classes and everything else. So let's see how that works. MDI account box not found. I might have to install a specific set. So I might have to do this. And I guess we'll just, because I'm installing that specific set. Maybe that's the only one I'll use. Okay, great, that works. Let's get this set up here. My formatting is running super slow. Okay. I don't need a class here. This, I can turn this into a flex. Flex row. And then item start, so they're up top. And let's give that a little spacing. I'm not too thrilled with the spacing here, but I'm gonna leave it for now, and then we'll come back to it later. And now when I click the icon, I want to change the state of the item is done, and then so let's do that. I have the element here. I should be able to say right here without creating another function. I should be able to say this. And then if it is done, let me have some indication. So I will just put the state here for now. And that way. All right, so the formatting is super slow, which means I'm probably going to try and format it up front. Okay, so that works. Now, if I click it, it changes to done. And I should be able to make it toggleable. If the state is done, it is new. If not, mark it as done. And now that toggles just fine, although I don't know why they're all marked as, or most of them are marked as done, even before I have done anything here. So let me put this as new, refresh. Okay, everything looks good. Maybe I did mark all of these as done before. Okay, let me fix now the icon itself, and then have a strike through on the text here. we'll say element.state is done. And we'll add the line through. Like I said, super slow formatting. I don't even have that many applications running right now. All right. So now the done ones are crossed out, and I could probably now just get rid of the state and fix up the icons so that they look like what I want them to. And I just need to find where I can see. Okay, searching for collections, and I think I should be searching for collection. And that way I should be able to see where they link out specifically to all the collections. There you go. Right, material design icons. And I should be able to search these for the one that I want. I guess just a box. Check. That's interesting. So I'm checking. I don't see a simple checkbox. Oh, there you go. There's a box and a check. Okay, so this one is checkbox blank outline, and this one is checkbox marked. What is this? Checkbox marked. Okay, we'll get down here. And now, based on the state itself, I want a different icon. I'm going to duplicate some code here, which I don't love, but for purposes, do that. Checkbox blank outline. And then copy paste this. Marked. I should actually be able to do view component is. Dynamic component. And that's still not. Okay, there you go. How to make your components. I should see something called is. Great, and I think I could pass it the component itself on the is, and so that's what I'll do. Instead of actually duplicating this, which is kind of dirty, let's say component is, and then if element.state is done, I want this to be icon checkbox marked. And otherwise, I want this to be, and so those should be strings actually. Icon checkbox blank outline. Oops. Okay, jump back out here. I'm getting the same icon. Did I not use this properly? If it's done, icon checkbox marked. Otherwise, icon checkbox marked. So I have the same one. So if it is done, it is marked, and then this should be blank outline. Makes sense. And now I expect to see if it's done, I see checkbox marked. If it's not, I should see checkbox blank outline. And I have them marked here properly. Although it doesn't like, it says it's never used. Ah, I'm actually probably only seeing this, which is why I'm just, okay, I just fooled myself here. So I'm only seeing this one, the component, which means the component is not working, which I think then these are not strings. They're actually just the components. And now I should see 2. Fantastic. So that's, and now I have a clickable thing. I should actually make these buttons, which I'll do later. But for now, marking items is done. And when I refresh, that's all saved because of that watching thing I'm doing. Okay, great. We've added the icon library. And I might use more. Yep, using the components. Great. Added the icons, and that's just the icons. Marking items is done. Cool. All right. What am I doing next? Deleting items. Okay. So what I want for a delete is, as I hover over these items, I want to be able to see probably like just a menu down here, with a delete icon and an edit icon. In prior tab that shows up here, I think you double click for edit, but I'm not a huge fan of that double click in this particular case. So I will use a trash can and then I'll have an edit icon. So let's take a look. Let's actually just get that set up. All right. Right here below the description, I'm actually going to add another div here. Get this, place it in there, and then below this, I will have an item, which means my flex box is actually here. And my space x2 is here as well. So I don't need that here. This looks good. And then I'll come down here and div. That is annoying me because I think it's because it's script setup. It doesn't by default have the right indenting when I add a new line. And here, I'll start off with just this works, border top 2, border gray, let's say let's have only one child. Okay, so it wants one child. Ah, okay. I'm just putting this in the wrong place. It should actually be here. Okay, great. Let me fix the spacing on this a little bit. And then the padding on this is 3. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of padding here. And I don't actually want a few things have happened here that a few things have actually broken here, unfortunately. Okay, so now when I click to drag, they're not draggable, although this is still working. And I think it's because I've broken up the divs here, and that's probably because of the draggable library I'm using. So let's go back and take a look here. So what I've done here is, this is my element, this is my item, everything is in here. So if I remove this and go back, no, that draggable is not working still. Let me, it's because of this. This will look a bit weird, but at some point I've lost draggability. Let me actually undo all the changes here. Yeah, I think I lost the draggability. Maybe when I added this component. Okay. Because I have a div inside a div. Huh. Nope. I still can't click and drag these anymore. I got element, it's draggable. I got IDs, I got everything here. And this was working before because I know that I clicked and dragged these up and down. When I had these icons. What? That makes no sense. So you're telling me that I added these icons and boom, that stopped working. Okay, so that is working now. Weird. Huh. So let me just undo some of these things again and bring back the icons at the very least. Okay, now it works. That's the weirdest thing. Okay, well, I'm not going to get too bogged down in that anymore. And let's just try and get back to where we were. Which is, well, maybe now I can kind of step by step try and take a look here. So if I do this, it's draggable, good. And then because I did that, let me bring the flex box into this div. It's here and get rid of that. And this should still be draggable. Okay, good. Now I have to test the draggability as I'm changing things. Weird. Okay, great. And let me, so this is my main div. Let me add another one. Class. Then pt2 border top 2 and then border gray 300 again. Okay, good. And I can still click and drag. That click and drag thing was, I just think, just some weirdness happening. Okay, so eventually I want that borderline and these icons in the bottom here to show up only when I hover and not all the time. But I'll get that working later. Let me just design it out and just get the functionality working. All right, now I want a trash can here. Oops. Okay, and let's go take a look at trash can icon. I think this one is good. This is trash can. Great. Trash can and oops. All right, and I can just use and I want it to show up at the end of the card, not at the start. Fantastic. And when I click, let's see what prior tab does. Doesn't it ask you to, are you sure? No, it doesn't. Eventually I will add that, but for now we're going to keep it fairly basic. And when I click, I will delete the item. So delete item, and I want to tell it which column to delete from in the same way that I had add item. So I'm going to give it the column name because I want to be able to find it, and then the index of this item. And because I'm using the draggable template, I actually don't know the index. So let's take a look at view draggable. And drop view 3, I think. This was the library I'm using. So slot props are element and index, so I should just be able to grab the index here. That's a slot prop. And now I can write my deleted item right next to my add item. Right, I have column name and then, whoops, which is the string, and then element index, which is a number. And essentially I want to find the column again. So I'm just going to copy this bit here, and then I essentially want to splice that element out. So, and I always forget how splice works. It's fine. We'll just go column.list.splice. Index, and that should ideally hook me up in the way that I want. Okay, let's see. I got a couple of items that I don't care about, and now I have a problem here with the CSS, which I'll fix later as well. So I'm dragging items up and down. All right, so if I click on the hello there, I think it got rid of a whole bunch of my items, which sucks. Okay, so let me go fix that. I think what I was looking for wasn't splice, but something else. I have to tell it how many items I want to splice from that spot. Okay, yeah, so there's a delete count, and then there's a replace. So I think the delete count should be 1. And I wonder if I can go back on my own stream to get back the list of items that I wanted, which I'll do now. That is embarrassing. So first I'll just test out fake item, delete it, fake item, move it up, and delete it. And that works the way I want. So let me just review and commit that. Okay, I've added a delete item function where I'm splicing the correct items. And then I've added the little thing at the bottom, which I want to display on hover, but maybe I'll do that after I've added editing as well. And then finally, I'll make that bottom panel display on hover. All right, deleting item works. I'm just going to join my stream from a different window and get back the list of items that I wanted. So this will just take but a moment. Okay, now I'm literally viewing my stream in a different window, and I'm going back to the spot where I started. Okay, what did I have? Fix. All right, fix reactivity hack. Mark items is done. Edit items. Delete items when this is done here. I had edit items. Improve page styles. Use Chrome storage, figure out Chrome extension build issue, add timestamps. Add timestamps and delete items. New item, delete items. Use Chromesync. All right. I think that's it. All right, let's order these in the way that I want now. I want to edit items. I can add 3 columns. And when I do add the 3 columns, I'll have to modify this add bit here. Improve page styles, add timestamps, use Chromesync. So I do want to get it into Chrome as soon as possible. Adding timestamps shouldn't be too bad, so I'll just do that up here. Okay, let's get to editing items. I want another icon near the trash can so I can edit the items. Maybe there's just an edit icon that I can just use right off the bat here. Okay, like this. Pencil box. Grab the pencil box. And I want it right beside the trash can. And let's just give this some spacing. For now, both of them are just going to delete the items. Okay, perfect. And when I click on it, it's going to delete, so I don't want to click on it. I do want this thing here to become an input box. I modify it. I click save, and it should save. I want to see how prior tab works. So if I just hello, done. If I double click this, okay. If I double click this, so it just replaces this with a form, and it doesn't have like a save button, but I do want one. Okay. All right. So I can't have an edit state because I want to maintain the done and not done kind of thing. So what I'll probably have to do here is element dot editing equals true. And if it's true, then I want to display this form. And again, I'm going to copy this here for now. In a different world, I might create a component of it. And I might just do that after this, like maybe as a refactoring. Pop that down here. And then yeah, add item. If you want to edit item, column name, index, and new description. Okay, well, changed description. for now, I'm going to get rid of this V model and not have one at all. And this can become save. And I want to only show it when that state. So I want to flip based on the state. So VF and element dot editing, not element dot editing, and the form will show on a VLs. I also want a cancel button, which I'll add in a second. So if I click this now, I see this, and this needs to be populated with the value of what I had here. So I'm just gonna refresh this, get that value back. Oh, wow. Okay, that's super interesting because every time I change the object, it saves. I'm unable to go back here. Even though I refresh, I'm unable to get back the thing that was here because I'm saving everything. So I guess I do want to add that cancel button. And we'll cancel. And I want click element dot editing is false. Oh, that's unfortunate. Because I think, well, at least that works. I'll fix the styling later. Okay, so I need to populate this element, and I need to style the element a little bit so it has a border right off the bat. And I need to get that value in there. Okay. All right, so when I click edit, I actually want to do two things. And again, this is a bit dirty here. And I will probably move this into a function right after I have this working. Is I can say changed description is equal to element description, getting the elements description in here, and then define a change description ref. It also means that only one element can be editing at a time. I will fix all of that later, but for now I just want super basic functionality. So let's go back here, change description, and that ref can be empty. And then I guess I go back and have that V model here that I removed. And that could be changed to description. And I do want a border here. Border 2, border gray. 2. Okay. Let's see how this looks now. If I click edit, I see my editing item here. And now if I change it and I click save, I want it to update. So for now, I don't have an edit item function. So let's go ahead and do that. And ultimately, I'm thinking there might be a good reason to copy the model from prior tab where I don't show it, but that's fine. So change the description string, and I'll find the column and I can just say list index straight up. Dot description is equal to changed description. And then column way editing equals false. And I think that should work. although this is now, okay, good. Edit items, edited, save, refresh. All right, I'm able to edit items. Okay, that's fantastic. Let me commit this since I have a working item editing. And what I've done here is pulled in icons, edited change description, ref, edit item function, and then added a form. It's kind of getting unwieldy here, and we might have to pull some of the stuff into components soon, but I'm still going to avoid doing that just for a bit more. All right. I have the ability to edit items now. Okay, that didn't work. Weird. Because I have to click save explicitly for the items to edit and not press enter. So if I press enter here, my expectation was that pressing enter would have worked. Pressing enter didn't work here. Okay, that's super interesting. Hello there. If I press enter, it doesn't work. And that's because cancel and save are both buttons. And it's using the first button, which is cancel, to cancel it. So if I press enter, it cancels. But if I press save, it saves. So let's actually fix that bug. And I believe I have to do something to the nature of type equals button, but I'm not sure. So let's see if that works. So if I remove this and I press enter, that works. If I click, that works. Fantastic. All right, press enter and it saves. I think there's a type submit and a type button. Right, so this button, the button has no default behavior, and submit will submit the form that that button is in. And there's a reset as well. Cool. Oops. Okay, yeah, that's all I've done. And let me just take a look. Oh, no, yeah, all I added was a button to fix that bug. Okay, awesome. Editing items is done. And I think now is probably a good time for me to only show these controls when I hover and not show them. The only thing I don't like about it is I'm saving the entire object as I'm editing it, but it should not be a big deal. Okay, so what I want to do is on mouse over and on mouse out, change the state, and then the visibility of the whole controls only happens when these controls are only visible when the element is being hovered on. So view, hover. I think this will just be a basic like on mouse over and on mouse leave. Yeah. So what I want is on my main component here, I want to implement these things. And I can just save the state on the element itself. And then based on the element's hover, show this. let's get back here. Awesome, that's perfect. Edit. I think that's fine. I'm not too big a fan of those controls just disappearing while I'm editing, but I think that's okay. All right. And all I've done here is added the on mouse over, on mouse leave, and added the if. Oops. All right, what am I doing now? There are a few things in the design that aren't cool, but and I'm just about an hour in. Okay, so now I guess I could add timestamps. I want to show something like how many days ago it was created. So let's do that. Let's actually let's store that. Let's, okay. I'm going to use a library called day.js. And time ago, I think it has a plugin. This from now, blah, years ago, and it will say. Okay, cool. That's good. I need to install a plugin, relative time. Okay. day.js, and I have created at, which was empty before, and here I'll say day.js.format. And store the created at. And let's see. Okay, there's a few things I need to do here. That ID, which I'm using as a key, needs to be unique. And for that, there's a few JavaScript libraries. Unique ID, I believe, will do the job. I want JavaScript. Unique ID, okay. And just doing this will give me, okay, that's perfect. ID. All right. And now I want to display the days ago. So I want to just, I'll just start off right now by displaying the time itself. So element description, and I want that right below this, which means I need it over here. I hate this indenting not working properly. All right, and then for now I'm just gonna show created at. Oops. Some autocomplete malfunctioning. That's I think I know what plugin that is. I would have expected to see. Oh, and I'm not seeing the created at because for all of these, I never was storing that time. So new item, and this one should have that created at. So let's style it a bit nicer. Okay, and I want to use that relative time functionality. And extend it, and then I should be able to say Day.js from now. Yeah, I think I should just be able to say from now, and that should work. But if it doesn't, then it's to now. So, okay, let's see. Let's add that in here. Named import default import. I was hoping it would convert the required, give me an option to convert the required to that, but it doesn't. So import relative time from this, and then Day.js extend relative time. That should be fine. And let me just place this import where it belongs. And now I should be able to do something like from now. I wonder if this will work. Okay, great. 2 minutes ago, and look at all those nans. Let's only do that if it exists. So perfect. All right, I got 2 minutes ago showing up, and I think when I hover on this, I want to display maybe as a tooltip, and I think I could just get away with that by using title. Yeah, great. So now if I did want to see the entire timestamp, it's available to me if I just hover over it for a couple seconds. I could style that. I mean, I could make that more readable, but for now, I'm happy with this. So adding timestamps is done. Just added Day.js and unique ID. And the changes I made here were adding those libraries and extending Day.js, using unique ID, storing the format, and just adding that bit here for the time. Great. All right, what's next? Adding 3 columns or dealing with the Chrome build issue. Okay, so I'm about an hour and a bit in. Let's do the 3 columns. The 3 columns is a bit of work, and I really right now want to get this into Chrome. But getting it into Chrome is also going to be a bit of work, because the last time I was using a hack as a workaround, but I might have an idea of how I want to approach that. So let's see. Okay. Yeah, let's just go with the 3 columns for now. So the way I did this right now is I'm storing it in local storage, and if there's nothing in local storage, I'm just adding a default now column. I should add the columns I wanted, next and later. But this won't pop them in here because the problem now is that this is coming from local storage, and local storage doesn't have it. And so I can just inject it right here, perhaps. I can just change the object. So I got data, and let me just, yeah, I could do that. I can just, because I mean, I just need this temporarily just for me. So I can just say data.value.columns find next. If I don't find it, then add it. So I'm going to do data.value.columns.push. And just push that. And that should do it. And it did. And now there's some styling I have to do here, which is good. And there's a few other quirks. For example, if I type this in here, these are connected because they're using the same reference. So we'll fix all of that. And now I want to do the same thing for later. Save that. And it should pop later in there as well. Great. And now I don't need this actually, because of this up here, they'll be there by default. And it was just a matter of my local storage not having it. Okay, so I want maybe these columns. Okay, and now I'm actually, because of this, I actually do need to improve the styles a little bit. But there's a bunch of things to improve. So I want to bring these up top with this. So let's do that. Item center. I think it should be at the start. So they're not centered. Okay, great. And a couple of things. I don't like how the column itself shares a background with the rest of the page. So I'm going to make this BG gray 50. And then for the columns, BG gray 200 maybe, just to have some contrast. Okay, I don't want that there actually, so let's get rid of that. I want it here. Okay, great. 200. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Maybe 1. Yeah, I think this is fine. Okay, and I want to make these columns a bit wider because right now they're kind of fixed by the content in them. So if I do something like this, put something really long here and a lot of other stuff, it shows up like this. And maybe let me put something else really long here, just so I can see how that nets out. Okay, so I want I think I want them equal sized. Let's see how prior tab does it. Yeah, it does have them equal size, and there's quite a bit of spacing, so there's probably some max width. And I should probably be able to just fix the width here. What if I just did 1/3 of the page? Okay, and what if I'm actually thinking I want it like less. Something like that is much nicer. Okay, I think that's good enough for now. Where there's a fixed width, what happens if I delete this? That retains its width. And I want to fix this now, where I'm seeing that kind of thing happen. Okay, so I just have one reference for adding a new item. There's a few ways I suppose I could handle this. Instead of, yeah, I don't like that. Let's see. I could have a new description per column. Yeah, let's do that. I think I can just have a new description per column. I wonder how the V model for that would work though, because as I'm typing that in, I couldn't just store that in there. I might have the new description ref, I think, can just be I don't know if I can do that. And then have it dynamic based on the name of the column. I actually don't know if I could do that. Okay, view dynamic v model variable. Okay. So allegedly you could do something like this, where you can have an array, but it's saying that it should be an array. Like you can't do it with an object. Okay, you should be able to, it seems here, because that's our object and that will be the name. I think that does it. So yeah, if I have this as empty, new description as empty to start, and then value column name. Why does it not like this? Okay, this is some typing problems, so that's fine. I can say something like as record string, I think. And yeah, that's correct. String, and that should make that happy. Great, new description. And then here, yeah, I don't think I even need to pass that in, but I just will continue to do that for now. And oops. Oops, it should be called on it. And are there any other new descriptions? So let me just go up top, new description here, modified that, new description over here, and I've modified that, new description here, and those are all modified. So now when I head back here and I type something in here, it doesn't show up in the other ones. If I press add, it shows up here, which is great. Let's just delete this. And type in something here and here. Okay, all of those work as intended. Great, add 3 columns is done. Okay. And essentially what we did here was add the columns, do that little temporary coding hack that I did to modify local storage, and then change some styles. And new description. Cool. Adding 3 columns. There is a bug here. Let me delete this. I think there was a bug here where if I set 2 items in edit, see how improved page styles got changed here, and these will both mimic each other. If I cancel, it did retain what it had before, but that that item that we're editing and that mode of editing doesn't work. Maybe do I want to fix that? Yeah, I do want to fix that. I think that should not be like that. Okay, so how would I fix it? I think I could store it with the element, so that change description instead of that the v model for the change description being this can just be element.change description. And as I'm changing that description, it's going to be stored actually. And I don't really need to pass that value in because it's already stored with this. So you don't need this anymore. I don't need that anymore. And element.change description. Actually, I could just go const element here instead. Oops. Go here. And and that should work. That should be good. Yeah, so I'm storing that change description specifically with that. Do I have to change description anywhere else? When I click, I store. I just want oops, change description to be the description. What's interesting about this is all of that is getting saved. So if I were to mark something as edit and I refresh the page, it still remains in editing. And then if I was to type something in here and refresh, it is getting saved. Cancel, and it's gone. And then if I click edit again, great. Okay, that's pretty nice. And let's just test whether, you know, yeah, this I can edit two things at the same time. Fantastic. Right, I'm storing the change description within the element itself. Okay. All right, I'm ready to try and attempt getting this into Chrome. Yeah. All right, so the last time I was working with Chrome, I was trying to do, what was I doing? I was using a plugin, and it didn't install because I think the plugin has a bug pulling in the CSS, and it wouldn't get installed into Chrome. So let me actually close all these tabs, and what I'll do is I'll compile this as a plugin and try and install it instead of a prior tab. And all of these items I think will disappear because Chrome's plugins local storage is probably going to be different than the local host's storage. Okay, so I'm just thinking through here. Okay, let's give it a shot. If I build it. Okay, yeah. Because I am not being, cannot find module blah or its corresponding type declarations. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, this is fine. I can fix this by saying yarn-d, install the types, and hopefully unique ID will have it. Okay, that's gone. But this thing here has type declaration issues, which I wasn't expecting. These, that's fine. I can, let me actually just fix these, the C thing first, and then I can try and fix the rest. So the way I'm going to fix this is I will, instead of hacking it, let me just declare the types. So I don't have a better name right now, so forgive me. Columns. It's an array of objects. So it's an array of objects, and these objects have a name string. and a list, which is an array of more objects. And these are a string, description is a string, state is a string, and state can be new or done. And then create an at, which is also a string. And let's say as data. And I wonder if this is enough to make it happy. I think there might be some other issues that I'll run into. Huh. Okay, not what I was expecting. Columns dot find. Okay, great. So it does show up. Let me then see if there's any other issues created. And just kind of. So I do need to add more things. I need a changed description. That's optional. Doesn't have to have it. Editing. Again. Okay. Okay, so it doesn't like this because let me just do that. Two p's. Okay, I think that's it. Those are the only errors that I'm getting here. Are there any other things on the element that I'm overwriting? I have hover. And I have state. That's already there. Editing's already there. Okay, I think I can add hover here. I don't really need to put that in. Yeah, I do need to. Yeah, let's just put question marks here. Very important. And I saw this over here get the underline when I changed the question marks here. Then I'd have to add them down here. Not a big deal. I think this is good enough. Let's build to make sure that that's functional. Apart from the imports. So the imports are the only thing. So let me commit what I have here. Huh. Seems like the unique ID got updated. Oh no, I added types. I did add types here. Okay, and the change here is really just adding the types. Oops. And could I give it a better name? Yes. Will I? No. Because there's, 3 hard problems in computer science. Okay. All right. So I have an unplugin icons issue. TypeScript support, they say. And nothing else. So in Vite, I have done this. I don't think... Migrating, no. Auto importing. Maybe that will fix it if I do this auto importing business. then I actually won't have to import anything, and that might fix it, and that might make it okay. Which is, in my opinion, mildly better than trying to figure out what the problem is here. Okay, and in Vite, I need to add the components plugin by pulling this in. And then here, this does have the same thing, but I need to add the resolver. So let's get the resolver and the components in there first. In Vite. Okay. And then pull components in. I want to pull that in before the icons. So something like that. And hopefully that's good enough for this to work. The build will still fail, actually, because I'm still importing them. So let's go ahead and app.view and just, I don't think I can, sorry. So it says here that I can do it without it if I use this like I dash business here. And the naming convention is icon resolver. Okay, I can give it a prefix. Great. So let's do that. Icon resolver. Give that a prefix configuration. And then here I can just go ahead and remove these and save everything. And it does not work. Fantastic. So auto import seems not to work. So I might have to solve it the other way. I was really hoping to get this into Chrome today. Is it because... it's because I'm doing this business. Okay, let me hover and see if that works. No, there's an error, right? Like the whole the problem is that there's okay, it doesn't work on hover either. So let me try a few things. Okay, let's see. And after those few things, if it still doesn't work, then I guess I have to give up. Icon pencil box, so I should be able to say icon pencil dash box. No, no cigar. It did add a components DS. Boy, that is frustrating. Try and restart the server. Maybe that will kickstart it. Nope, nope. Okay. So that did not work. Let's get back in here and let's undo, get these in back in here and at least have that functional, even if it doesn't like this, cannot find. Can I just disable it for these lines? No. Disable, no unresolved. Nope. Is there more to disable here? Maybe that's enough. Maybe that's enough. I know it's super dirty, but I actually don't want to spend time figuring this specific thing out right now. And if this compiles for me, I'll be happy. And then whoops, yarn build, and then we can We could try and get into Chrome, which is a higher priority for me. Trash can. Let me take a look at the library's issues. Cannot find module and this corresponding type declarations. Fantastic. Same here. Sorry. Right, cannot find module. December 7th. Maybe this has a solution. Gotta have the types. Perfect. And I wonder why this isn't in the description anywhere. Oh, hey. Hey, Mike. Thanks for joining. You might be the only one here. I think I've been just streaming to no one, but you know, like I'm doing it for the content. In the long tail, I'm not doing it for the live audience necessarily. Okay, yeah, I think I got this fixed. Okay. So I just need to add this in the tsconfig. Under types, and just copy just the bit I need. Save that. And now, if this works, that's amazing. I'm actually glad that happened because, you know, I think it just occurred to me to check the issues, and somebody had a solution, which is amazing, right? Like otherwise, I would just have to be sad. So I can now get rid of these, I believe, and my build should still work. Yeah, Mike, my actual plan is like right now I'm coding this thing. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with it. Kind of off the cuff. I am you know, solving bugs and everything. And then I want to redo this kind of as a more polished version. So you can see sort of me kind of fumbling around trying to figure it out. And then I'll have a more polished kind of tutorial version where you could just, you know, get to the final product or solution sooner. Let me actually just quickly for you demo what this looks like. I'm not sure if you got a chance to see it. So essentially, it's this app here, and it's just a to-do list. And instead of doing your kind of typical Scrum, you know, like to do, doing, and done, the columns I actually care about for my kind of type of attention is like stuff I need to work on now, next, and later. Later is like pipe dream stuff, or you know, like long-term stuff that's urgent or immediate here, and like the thing I need to work right after this over here. So you know, item 1, and then another item, and here I can kind of move these across, and delete, edit, and all that business. And so all of that is working. My mic is actually just my Max mic. So let's see. Okay, so I'm at a point where I want to, like, I'm pretty much done most of the functionality of the app. And what I want to do now is I want to get it into Chrome as a plugin. But the last time I did this, there were some issues. Let me actually just commit the changes I've made. I made a bunch of changes. I did this unplugin business, which didn't work for me. I am going to keep it just for the future. This is what actually fixed it, the types. Config. Adding icon types. Oops. Okay, so I've added the icon types and committed that. And now I want to get into Chrome. So the problem the last time was when I build it, while it generated the files, it didn't, so it's generating a CSS file with my CSS in there, but it's not referencing the CSS in the index.html. So if I go into the dist here and take a look at that index.html, it has a .js, but it doesn't have, like up here, I should be seeing a link tag to the CSS, and it's not there. And because it's not there, when I try and install it, it doesn't work on Chrome. So I'm going to try and install it into Chrome now, and use the hack just to get in there for now. So I'm going to disable prior tab because I don't want that. And I want to load my extension. Select my extension. And okay, so it got installed. Now if I open a new tab, the styles aren't there. So I think the functionality should work. Item 1, the functionality does work. I can add it, I can delete it, but none of my styles are there. Let me actually just add a few items. Okay, so now in order to get around this, I had to manually add a link in there. So, and the link would look something like this. Oh, okay, I guess. Oh, that's super interesting. In dev, it gets compiled right into the HTML. Okay, yeah. CSS link tag HTML. This is what I want. In here somewhere. And then this will be, okay, sorry, can you just take a look here, what it compiled as. That's another interesting thing, like it's compiling the CSS with this, like, this hash, and the main.js does not have a hash. So it's like this whole business of compilation is a bit weird here. So I don't know why this got stuck. Okay, that didn't copy properly either, unfortunately. So let me just get that back. Okay. So now having done this, I believe if I reinstall this, it should work. So go back to my sessions and remove this and reinstall. And now I press Control T. It works. Okay, hello there. I'm noticing one thing, which is the fonts are different, which is fine. 2, 3. Moving these over, editing, and deleting. Okay, that works. I'm not too happy with the hack, and maybe to end off the stream, that's the one last thing I'll solve. So let me just take a look at my list of items that I did have here. Chromesync, maybe Chromesync is the one that I won't do. Maybe I will, you know. But Chrome extension build issue. So let's try and fix that up. Okay, so right, so there's a few problems happening all at once. So let me try and figure that out. So right, so the plugin that I'm using to build is not adding this link style sheet in there. I don't know why. The plugin I'm using is this one here, Vite plugin Chrome extension. Let's just make sure that I'm on the latest version. So this is 0007. Maybe they've fixed something in a newer version. And it's a shame because I like the plugin. Like the plugin is doing what I need it to, apart from this one thing. Right. So the last change was like over a year ago, and it was version 007. So I'm not gonna get anything there. I wonder if someone fixed it in a pull request. No, not seeing anything here. And then a couple of submits here saying, hey, is someone maintaining this this repo? The other way to do it is just using normal compilation. So let me revert to that. I did flip-flop between that in the last stream, so hopefully I can actually just end up resolving it in the stream. Okay, let me just collect my thoughts. Right. So I got this here, and then in my Vite, I have this Chrome extension that is doing my compilation. And then the build here is saying, hey, look at source manifest, and then get the information from there. The other way to do it is to have a different source manifest that doesn't drive the compilation. Let me try that out. Get rid of that and comment this up. I'm just commenting it out for now. I might have to bring this back in later. Oops, I'm in two windows. Let me just fix that as well. Okay. And now when I do a yarn build, given that I'm not doing it through that Chrome extension plugin, my manifest file will have to be different and point to a different place. So now, as I can see, instead of like having that main business, this is named index and index. Both of these have that hash. And if I go into dist and I look at my index.html, the link is there and the script is there. So it's pointing to where I want it to be. Okay. And then instead of source manifest.json, I have my manifest right here. Oops. You don't have a manifest here. I should have a manifest file right here, and it will point to dist, dist indexed as my entry point, and hopefully that works. So let's see. Mike, I am on an I'm on an M1, which is one of the best changes I've made. I got it maybe a month or two ago, and it has been absolutely amazing. The only time I've heard the fans on the machine is 2 days ago on my first stream. Like only when I'm streaming do I hear the fans. The rest of the time I've like never heard the fans. Like the fans don't go off, and it's super fast. Highly recommended if you're on a Mac and you're thinking of upgrading to an M1. Do it. It's worth the investment, especially for work and like any sort of you know, heavy compilation or heavy processing that you're doing. Yeah, keyboard, Mac port, HDMI built in. HDMI built in is amazing as well. And I can have multiple monitors too, just by adding another dongle and using 2 HDMI ports. Works like a charm. All right, so fixing this Chrome plugin build. Let's see. Okay, let's try. I can't install it, so. All right, I just have one manifest, and instead of it being here, I'm going to copy this manifest file into my main directory. And in this one, I'm going to reference dist/index.html. And I'll try and install it through here. So back into my extensions, let's remove this installation. And I expect this not to work because it didn't work the last time. And then we'll be at a place to debug. So this is where my manifest is. I select this. It did install. Okay, but when I press Control T, nothing shows up here, right? That was the problem. And nothing shows up because I have these 3 errors and it's not finding that index .js. It's not finding that. Thanks for showing up, Mike. That was it was good to see you even in chat. And yeah, if you watch the series, would love to hear your feedback. So it's these index files that I'm not able to see. And let's see if I can view page source, old school, /assets/index. And if I go in sources, it has the dist directory, it has index, but it doesn't have my files here. And so my assumption now is that the assets folder is not being pulled in to the Chrome installation. And I can figure out why that's happening. Or I know from before that Vite can configure the location of the assets. No, this is not it. By Vite, plugin config reference. Directed to serve as plain static, public. Assets include. That's which assets to include. Do I need? No, because it's, yeah, okay. Asset URLs, build asset dir. And I think, what if I leave it empty? You know, instead of yeah, instead of assets. Let's see. So this build block on comment and asset dir is blank. I don't know if it will accept that, but okay. That worked. And now I have everything right in that primary directory. If I take a look at this index.html, whoops. That reference is right here. And so hopefully that's enough for this to work. All right, let's install it. I think I could just have refreshed it, but odd. Okay, I was really hoping that would have worked, but it did not. Okay, disappointing. I mean, I did have it working with the hack. I just wanted to see if this would work. I'm gonna try a few things. No idea if these will work. Is the slash confusing it? Maybe. Okay, let's get back here. You know, I will try the refresh this time. That worked. And I know I had a similar problem like that the last time. And that's ridiculous, right? Like, that's Chrome. So I believe what Chrome is doing is when I'm installing the plugin, Chrome is saying, hey, my entry point in my manifest file is index, right? And it's probably parsing the index file to see what it's referencing, and it sees these files and it picks them up. And it didn't like the slash. So I'm not sure if I can fix this, but I want to know whether this is necessary. So let me comment this out. Build again. And then I'm going to manually hack my file to remove the slash. Like, is it just the slash that's the problem? And at least that way I'll know. So let me get rid of these slashes. Come back here, and this time I will remove. And reinstall. It doesn't want me to install again. What's the problem? What? Okay, let's try again. No. Okay, it doesn't. Is there like a limit? Did I install too many? Is there another window open? Oi. Okay. So what I'm probably going to have to do is, just give me a second here. I'm probably going to have to quit Chrome. That's a shame. Okay. Okay. I think I'm back. All right, let's see now if I can. No. Okay, there we go. Okay, it does. Jeez. Okay, so trying this back. Select. Could not load manifest, so it didn't like it. Oh, yeah, because the manifest is not here. Select here. Okay. And new tab, keep it. And that works. It's just the slash. And I'm doing this without the plugin. So I don't even need the plugin. I just need Chrome to do the slash. I wonder if there's a Vite config here again. That's frustrating. So I can assets path. Oh wait, that is annoying. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna be able to figure this out here. I don't think there's anything that stands out at me that says, hey, like, you can remove that slash. That Chrome, for whatever reason, is not gonna. This seems like actually a bug in Chrome. Like, that's a proper path indication, right? Yeah, I'm not gonna find anything here. So that's fine. I think I'm okay with that. Like, if I was going to compile this and submit it to the store, I just manually remove the slashes. Like that's all I'm doing in order to get this working. So I'm happy with that. Let me. I'm not thrilled, but it's acceptable. Okay, so let me go to my web-based app, which should have my own local storage. And you know what? Maybe I will try and what don't you like here? Ah, okay, sorry. Main TS, what is there not? Following dependencies are imported, but they could not be resolved. What is this now? Like, am I being trolled by slashes? Is this for real? Ah, okay. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Maybe at some point later, I'll try and figure out the plugin itself, because the plugin mostly is doing everything right, except for including the CSS link tag. So that's too bad. I haven't fixed this entirely, but enough to get it into Chrome, right? And maybe because I don't really have anyone else on the stream, so I don't feel like I'm holding people up, I can go ahead and try and use Chromesync instead of local storage, and get that working. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm gonna do a couple other things. I don't like the color of this button, so I do want to change that. And because I'm, yeah, let me change a few things up front actually. In this index here, I have this BG green 200, and I'm actually curious whether that works. It doesn't. And I wonder why I can't like why that gets wiped out. Bodies over here, it doesn't have my my BG green. And this seems like a Vite thing, maybe a view thing. I wonder if it respects it here. I don't see it here. Do I need to rebuild? No. Which is weird because I don't believe I've had this kind of thing happen in other apps. Super weird. Unless oh, which index am I modifying? Because I have two indices now too, because of the way things were set up before. So I think the index that I'm using now is this one. This is all because of that plugin. Okay, so now it is working. Great. And that's good to know. So I can start making some changes. So I know which index I have. I have two manifest files because of the whole Chrome plugin compilation thing. So I'm just going to start fixing that. Okay, So I have this index inside source. I have this manifest inside source. And sorry, this index is in the root directory, and then in source I have a manifest and an index which I'm no longer using. I believe. So I should be able to do something like this and just get rid of it. And get rid of this manifest as well. And try and compile. It works, and app works. Great. So I've removed the unnecessary files now because I'm just working with the ones that that I am in fact using. And my styles work fantastic because I was it was the Chrome plugin, the Vite Chrome plugin that wasn't compiling it properly, which I'm glad I'm not using now, I suppose, because it retains my styles. And now instead of green, I don't want green. I want BG Gray 50, and I don't need it in here, and I don't need to do this business either. So all of that is gone. And now, if I did have a lot of items, last time, I think earlier in the stream, there was this like divide somewhere here where there was gray up here and you know, and down here there was a white background, and that doesn't happen anymore. So I'm glad that's fixed. Let's delete these. That's annoying as well. Okay, so now maybe I can try and do Chromesync. So let me save this. I got a new manifest file pointing to dist. That's good. My main index.html. Removed the styles here. Deleted these, so that's good. Tailwind config is reading from source. Nope, don't want that. I want it reading from index. And then Vite, I'm no longer using the Chrome extension, so let's just remove this. Instead of the comments, and remove Chrome extension plugin. Okay. All right. Can I use Chromesync? I don't know how to use Chromesync. Assuming it works like local storage, I need to have permissions in my manifest. And then you can use Chromesync or local. I don't want to use local. And right, and the benefit of using sync is that if you are logged into your profile, if you log into your profile using a different machine, which I do, sometimes I'm on a Windows machine, and other times I'm on a Mac as I'm working, and I want these to be on both, which Part Tab does, which I really liked. Yeah, when Chrome is offline, Chrome stores the data locally. Okay, so I do want this to work in both, right? I want, when I'm not installed as a Chrome plugin and I'm just as there as a website, I want it to continue to use local storage. But when I'm not, I wanted to use this Chromesync. So let's see if my browsers by default have a Chrome object. They do. Do they have a Chrome storage? Not by default. does my plugin, so if I want to open a new tab, now this is my plugin tab integration. Does that have Chrome storage? It doesn't either. So how would I how would this work? Maybe because when I installed the plugin, the permissions weren't there. That could be the case. So let me try and do that. It doesn't like permissions, extra comma. Yeah. So yeah, let me try and reinstall it. I don't think I have to build because my manifest file doesn't apply. Let's remove this and reinstall. Open a new tab. Of course, it's not going to work because I have to do that manual change every time. Okay, there we go. And let's see if Chrome storage is available now. Yes. Okay, so really what I need to do is check if Chrome storage is available. And if it is, then I use Chrome storage and its API. And if it isn't available, I use local storage, all the same. So and really it's set key value and get. Okay. And really there's one place I need to change it in my app here, which is my watch function, which is using local storage here. Well, okay, two places, I lied. Anywhere I'm using local storage, right? So, and so what I could probably do is change it to something of like a load data and a save data. And I do want to get this done today because then I'm ready to use the plugin. I can stop using prior tab and I can install this today. Okay. So this I want to do. So let me just take this object out. Oops. Take this object out and say default data object. Because I'm going to use that in two places, so I don't need it stuck in that tear environment. Oh, okay, and this becomes I mean, technically, I guess it doesn't have to be a function, but that's fine. Actually, it can't be a function. So that whole business was... It can't be a function because I need it in my ref, and I can't define my ref inside a function. It has to be at the top level here. That's fine. I did need to refactor the data object out, and I can I could do this business. So local object is data or undefined, right? And I'm no longer doing that. What doesn't it like here? It wants me to use const because I'm not reassigning it. but I will. So if Chrome dot storage, do this, else do this. And let me just put that in here to quell the compiler. It doesn't like Chrome. Chrome is not defined. Can I just hack it for this line here? And then maybe I could just do a TypeScript thing, or fine, let's figure it out. TypeScript Chrome object. I did do that. Do I already have it? I do already have it. So what's the problem? You know what? Oh yeah, Chrome extension APIs. Types Chrome. So I don't want in my TX config. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. Okay, I can do that, and maybe I can get rid of this here now, and it should work. Maybe if I quit and restart, it will respect. Well, let's see if in a couple seconds that line comes back, and it did. It means it doesn't work. That's fine. I'm not gonna worry about that for now. So we will do this dirty thing and just have it work. So if it's Chrome, I want to do this. Otherwise, I want to do this. And then the same thing I want to do wherever I'm using local storage, right? So the other place is here in my watch function. So if let me just copy it actually. If Chrome else this business, and we'll clean this up again. I want this down here. Okay, and let me just copy the sync set, and my key value is straight up. So maybe I could just declare var Chrome. Declare const Chrome. Sure, any. Modifiers cannot appear here. Can they appear up here? Can they appear somewhere else? Yeah, I would have to do probably like a .d.ts. So you know what? Not right now. Not. See, like I'm trying to, you know, be nice and not use these disable TypeScript things, but to do data, and my value that I'm storing is actually just data.value, straight up. And I don't really need a function callback. See, like TypeScript will, like, it knows these things, but it still doesn't like that this isn't defined, which is weird because I have the types. Look at that. Okay. Right, so that's my set, and then I need my get here. That's in this format. In this case, I do need my callback because I'm going to get it and do this. which is fine. I don't need to promisify this or whatever because it only happens here. No, I do need to promisify this because local object needs to be set, right? Because I'm using the data ref. Can I do this? Ref data. No, I couldn't. I possibly couldn't. Like, that's not even right. And I can't. Can I promisify this? And use async in view script setup? I should be able to. That would be top level of Vite. Okay, so it should work. And I will need to make this a promise. So, and then I will need to resolve it inside the function. And I do need to look up the syntax for this. So I have my promise, and I'm going to await the promise. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Resolve reject. This probably doesn't have an error. So that's fine. I'm going to get this in here. And then resolve with my result dot to do data. Well. Oops. Okay, so I'm resolving to do data, and this will be my load data promise. And then here, I should be able to do this. Oh, wait, load data promise. And it doesn't like that because it's going to be unknown. I don't need to do this business anymore. I should be able to do that. No, it doesn't like it. Oh, oh, that's fine. That's fine. That will be formatted out, and that should work. And I can only test this once I'm in Chrome, and so I should probably just add some logs here. Loading from Chrome storage. And I'll have to do this odd business too, right? Because if it doesn't exist, I wonder if it will reject, which means I should. Well, I don't know where it would reject, right? So let's just take a look here. Callback items key string. Yeah, it's not giving me a. And I don't know if I would do a try catch or something. and I don't know what it returns if it's empty. So that's fine. So what I'll do is, that's fine. And we'll do the same thing that we're doing down there. So if temp local object exists, then use it. Otherwise, use the default data object. And so now we have the same business happening over here and the same business happening over here. And that should do it. And I can only test this once I install it as Chrome. So loading from Chrome storage just to make sure that I'm here. And let me log that as well. Okay, and I want to simmer log what I'm storing. Okay, so that should land me in a place where I should be able to install this. And it should work equally the same in both. In both as a website because I'm using local storage, and then so let me actually just test it out to make sure that I haven't broken anything. And I have, like, that's, you know. Promise, but no suspense boundary was found in the parent component tree. A component with it must be nested in suspense in order to be rendered. So that's good. And I did see that here. But for whatever reason, because I haven't used suspense before, for whatever reason, they didn't give us a example. Okay. So I'm wrapping myself in the template in suspense. And I need a fallback. Okay. But the example, like if I was able to look, like if I was looking at this and I want to just copy paste this, they're telling me this wouldn't work. That's fine. Okay, let's do it. All right. And I wonder if I need a fallback template at all. Like, will it just delete empty? And in the example, it didn't have like template and then suspense. It just had suspense as the top level template. But I don't know if, see, like here, does it? Anyway, let's see if that works. And it doesn't. A component with setup must be nested in suspense, it says. So I'm not sure what it doesn't like. So let's try and make it happy. I'll try first by adding this template here. See, this is why, you know, when you go, oh, I'm just going to add this one thing. And you run into like 5 different other problems. But yeah, I've not done this before. That's not it. This is my app. And nope, it doesn't like it. No suspense in the parent component tree. Wow. So maybe there's no template, right? So maybe it just is this. No, that can't be it. Like, how does it know? That's not it. I'm betting my hat that this won't work. I'll be shocked. But but I'll take it, you know? Like I won't let her fight. Yeah, of course it doesn't work. Okay. And now here, no suspension found in the parent component tree. Oops. Maybe I just need another example. Okay, so I'm only going to spend a few more minutes here because I'm essentially done. It's just Chrome.sync, which I need because I'm using async, which I need because I promisified that function, which I need because. Maybe there's a different example somewhere else that is a bit more. Okay. Again, here it's like, you know, it's wrapped in suspense, but my templating isn't there, right? Like, what comes first? I don't know. Okay, let's see. Like, can someone just hit me up with an entire, there you go. So template, suspense, and a default, and a fallback. Okay. Here we go, default. So I already have a fallback in here. So I do need the template. I do need suspense. And then inside suspense, I have a default template. And maybe that will fix it. That will not fix it. Script setup suspense example. Okay, Google, come on. Yeah. Like, am I supposed to, like, does it have to be an, you know, with an else? Also, I don't see an example with, like, script setup specifically, so it's not very helpful. Maybe it's just a bug. Because they say it's experimental. But then if that's the case, am I able to do this without async? Yeah. Yeah, I should be able to if I make the whole thing invalid, right? I think. All right, folks, I'm back here. I'm just gonna give this one more shot, and then I'm just gonna end it if it doesn't work, which is a shame. Okay, so I did this resolving business here, and now I'm realizing I can't do that, which means that I'll have my data defined before maybe. So a bunch of things might need to change as a result. So I have my data defined. There's no local object. So I'm gonna have to and then yeah, I'll have to have it undefined, and then define it as data or undefined, right? I don't see. That's fine. Okay. So great. It's undefined. Data is undefined to start, and then at some point I'm going to set those values. So instead of doing this resolving and promise business here, I can get rid of this and get rid of this. And these. And then here, can I do that? Can I just start with the default data object? Okay. And then when over here, I can say data.value is equal to, oops, I missed a result. Okay. Data.value is equal to result.toData. Wait. Right, one more shot. Data.value. It's the autocomplete. It's Emmet. Emmet is messing me up because of that dot. Result dot to do data. Right. Get rid of that. And then here I can say something like if local data string, right? Data.value is equal to this, and then get rid of this. And here I might need to have a similar if statement here, right? So if, oops, if result dot to do data. Oh, I need to okay. Result dot to do data. And that should be it. That should land me where I need to be. I don't need a local object anymore, right? Because I'm setting this, and this doesn't need to be undefined anymore because it's not, like it's always defined. And there might be like a flash where it's empty first and then it gets populated from local storage. And that's fine. And now I'm not using await. Although I want it, like if I did have an await in my script set up, that should have worked. Okay, I'm back. That does work. Okay, let's build and get into Chrome. See, I don't even know right now if it works in Chrome. I need to hit up my extensions, refresh this, load in a new tab, and it doesn't work. course, because I have to make that manual change every time. And I keep forgetting. That's just silly, you know. That's just silly. Okay, that works. I have a fave icon issue here, but that's fine. 1, 2, 3. And it seems like it's been stored here. Refresh that. Flat map is allegedly not a function. Okay, so let's try and figure that out. It's showing this here because I guess that's what's being returned. Okay, let's try and solve this. Okay, I have to compile every time. Fantastic. All right, so I know that the initial load worked, which means that we never got in here. And so I probably need a statement here. Actually, just here, right? Because and it's going to be a result. And then something weird is happening here, and data is misassigned, and I think I'm getting those errors right in my HTML, I think. Okay, I guess I'm gonna need to find out my console log. And I haven't done Chrome plugin development, so I wonder, like, for something this simple, whether I have to every time. Oh, I just use the Chrome debugger, I guess. Fair. Am I closing the Extensions tab every time? No, I'm not. I just can't find it. Okay. Yeah, so this should give me a log, result, to-do data. And it is there. So I have my items here. So what's the deal? To-do data columns. So to-do data is data.value, which is, you know, precisely what I'm doing here. And I know that that worked when I ran it. So I know it's storing. I know that it's results, to-do data, right? So I know that that's storing my columns. So what's the deal? Okay, let's just take a look here. It's proxy.render issue with the assignment. Okay, so maybe here, you know, how we started off the video by correcting the issue. Maybe it's because to-do data isn't really to-do data. Maybe. And if I destructure and throw it in there, maybe it will be kind. And now if that doesn't work, I gotta end this. Right? Like, give me a break now. Actually, when is this proxy happening? And it's odd that that error shows up here as if it's HTML. So in a pre-box. Do I have a pre anywhere here? No. And it's happening here. So columns. It's happening right in the columns. It's happening right in the columns. Okay. So which means that like this works. I should have seen that, right? Because the now, the next, and all that is working. So it is a data issue in the column. So the saving might not be working. It doesn't seem like it. Everything here from the loading Chrome storage seems fine. Proxy render. But it is, of course it is, because list, and this is my this all seems very clean here. The list, it seems correct. I wonder if there's a Chrome API I can use elsewhere. I wonder if I should be using that stringify hack that I did at the start. Maybe that's still the problem. Although this seems very clean, right? So the columns are coming in. And then the list is here. And so it's going through the list. And maybe it's draggable that's the problem. Because that is only being rendered by draggable. So if I do something like for debugging purposes, and I old school v4 it, item of column dot list key item ID, and for our purposes here, I'm just going to put element description. And first, oh, not element. And first, let's make sure that it works in the browser. It does, so I see these here. Fantastic. Let's build it. Load it. It's a draggable problem. Okay. Well. Let me do the hack. I really desperately want to make this work, of course. So this doesn't work because if it's, it's not like a deep copy, which json.stringify result.to do data. I'm not happy about this, I'm not it's not a high moment for me, but it happens once when you load, and I can only do what I can do. All right, 8th time is a charm. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. So if it ain't, that's fine. You know what? I don't have Chromesync. Okay, it's It's a shame. Like I got into Chrome, I didn't get Chromesync working. So obviously on my local version here, this remains unchecked. But that's about it. Otherwise, I'm fairly happy with how this turned out. There's some styling change that I need to make here in order to make it work. I do need to figure out Chrome Sync before I can actually install it and start using it personally because I use Chrome Sync. Otherwise, I can't use it on multiple machines. That's fine. Okay, folks. Well, my goal here is to redo this really as a tutorial version. So in the live streams, I came in without having a concrete idea of how I was going to solve the problems. I hadn't done it before. I hadn't used, the Chrome plugin stuff before. I hadn't used Draggable. I had like icons, all that stuff. I had to use before, and so we kind of have to figure it out from scratch. So what I want to do is now that material is done and it's recorded, I can revisit it and try and construct this maybe as a blog post tutorial so that it just works the first time, right? Like I'll tell you to put the types here. I'll tell you to, compile the Chrome plugin this way. I'll have the caveat of the slash so that it works, so that if you follow along, it's functional. And then I'll make another video of that, which is a more polished version of this. And maybe by that time I have Chrome Sync figured out as well. And so there's a whole polished version where you can build this app end to end from scratch. All right. That was fun.